Hello everyone, it's Jashandeep here. In this video, I'll be giving some of the advices for the upcoming students who are planning to join their university, and these advices are my own personal learning and the realizations which I've learned throughout my university period. And this video will be well sectioned where I'll be giving you advices related to living away from home, budgeting, assignments, library, Parkinson law. I'll be talking about that, which is really important and critical for this video. And there will be timestamps attached in the description below, so feel free to skip around with this. Let's straight away get started. So the very first topic which I want to cover in this video is related to money itself, and I feel this is one of the most important topic to cover on, and here I want to emphasize on budgeting at university. Now personally for me, it was my very first time when I was living away from my family and I had to fund myself for my university period. It used to seem that in one particular month towards the initial period, I used to get a lot of funding from my family, from my part-time job which I used to do, and when I used to go towards the end of the month, I used to really struggle in also paying my rent itself, because I used to spend too much money when I initially received it. And there comes the need of talking about budgeting here. And after I realized that I need this budgeting concept in my own life, so what I started doing was I created an Excel sheet where in the one section, in the one sheet, I used to write that what all income sources I actually have got. So there I used to write, for example, in your case, it can be some of your fundings from your maintenance loans, educational loans, from your parents, from a part-time job, what all sources or scholarship, awards, whatever things you've got, these are all sources of income. And I used to list them in one particular Excel sheet file, and I used to open the next Excel sheet file where I used to write where I spent all of this money on, whether it is related to my rent, is my food and drinks, whether it's my traveling allowances, traveling costs, whether I'm chilling with my friends out. So I used to write down all of these expenses and sources of income. So once I had these two Excel sheet files created for myself, then I used to apply this principle of subtraction, where I always wanted to keep my source of income at my higher level as compared to my expenses. So expenses has to be here and your source of income has to be here. Now here is some of the problems which few of the students encounter. First is that their income is pretty much lower than their expenses. In that case, one of the solution is that you have to increase your income, and the way to do is by doing a part-time job. And let me here mention you and guide you that when you're doing part-time job in the university, it doesn't affect your grades. So there was research conducted by some of our university which said that if you do a part-time job for 10 hours in 1 week, it won't affect your university at all. And personally for me, I used to do, in the restriction, I used to do 20 hours in my term time. In my holiday hours, I used to do like full-time job, and it never affected my studies at all. So you can increase your income by doing a part-time job. And the other thing is that, let's say once again your income is down till here, and the other way is to reduce your expenses. If you think you're going too much often to pubs and clubs and you're spending all of money there, reduce your expenses. Or even if it requires that you have to transfer from a student accommodation which generally costs about 400 to 600 pounds, just go to a rental house which will just cost you about 200 to 300 pounds. So these are two of the problems which few students encounter. And the third thing is, if these both things doesn't work for you, then the other option is to take benefits from the student accounts which you've got. Try to borrow the money, and you can do it by overdrafts, loan, credit cards, whatever it is. Try to utilize all of these facilities which you get with your student bank account. And the number 4 thing is, it is very important for you guys in terms of your money budgeting. Always try to use the student discounts which are available. In the initial first year, I didn't knew that there was a portal known as Uni Days which offer brilliant discounts. Even for the Apple, Samsung, all these good products, they have got a discount attached through Uni Days, and you should always take the benefit of this. All you need to do is search for Uni Days, just create your account and just register with your university email address, and you will be eligible to get discounts from all over the brands. It's Adidas, Nike, whatever brand it is, whatever you use in your daily life, there will be definitely be there through Uni Days. So these are some of my advices related to the concept of money and how you can budget it properly for yourself. Now the second topic on which I want to give you some of my advice is related to living away from your home. So for most of the students, it will be very first time, it will be kind of a transitioning phase where you used to live with your parents and now you're transitioning to live in the university by your own self, like you're paying for your own stuff, you are staying in a different home away from your parents. So here comes like some of the advices from my side. The very first thing, in the initial beginning period, you will be feeling a bit of homesickness, and I understand that it is completely okay to feel in that particular situation. accommodation. For me personally, I didn't experience that because back in my own country I used to live away from my family, so I studied in a military school. But for most of the students, you will be feeling homesickness. Now my advice for this will be, first of all, it is completely okay to become homesick. And the other thing which you have to realize mentally from your own self, you have to inspire your own self with this, that you're transitioning to a phase where you're becoming self-reliant and independent in your own life. And once you try to understand this very hard concept, very critical concept of the life itself, then you will be starting to keep yourself busy with other activities. Might be you want to do a side hustle in your long term, or might be side by side of your university life. So you'll be trying to take that value out of that and start putting into a phase where you want to become self-reliant in your own life. And this thing will constantly motivate you, the thing to become independent, to do more and more work, and which will be eventually keeping you busy with that all activities, and you can avoid homesickness. So my additional advice is for any of the students who are living away from family is that first of all, learn cooking and laundry itself. These are the two very important things which you have to learn back from your own country. And cooking is something which I even struggle right now as well. So I highly recommend for cooking, make sure that you have learned back from your own country, whether it's like few of the dishes, few of the common dishes, you should be knowing how to make them. Otherwise, if you are just ordering takeaway every single day, you'll be spending a lot much money, and going to concept of budgeting, you'll be just messed up with that all concept itself. So I highly recommend that learn cooking back from your own home. And laundry is quite easy. I won't say that laundry is a bit tough thing, but it's always good to get your familiarized back from your own country. Now talking about the accommodations that where you should be living, and I highly recommend most of the time for the freshers and including me, I stayed in a university student accommodation. And the best reason for that being that in the fresher week there will be a lot of activities will be happening, and you want to be staying close to where that activities are happening, so that you can start making your new friends, you can find your course mates through all of that kind of activities which are going on. And the best thing is, in the uni halls everyone will be the person who is studying in the same university. Might be they are not from your own courses, might be they are from different courses, but however they're from the same universities, and you've got that kind of integrity and that kind of umbrella on your head where you've kind of connected by the same university itself, and it will be a bit easy for you to make new friends out there. Now the third topic on which I want to give you some of my advices is related to your assignments. And the very first thing which I want to highlight here is that get used to being comfortable in the library itself. Now whenever I'm studying at home personally, and even I've discussed with many of my friends that when they're studying at home they are pretty much less productive due to the fact that they sometimes get distracted with the phone calls with the friends, and all that stuff is going on at your own home. But when you're in the library itself, the distraction level is minimum, and in the library itself there are no talk zones, silent zone, and all that stuff is there. And I highly recommend in the initial phase itself, get used to how to use the library itself, whether it's like where are the printing machine, where to find the books of your own particular subject. Get used to it. And for me, when the exams used to come, I used to spend overnights right there in the library without feeling kind of stressed or bored, because I made myself so much comfortable right there in the library. And the second thing which I want to talk here is about your assignment deadlines. Now let's say if it's like first of a month and my deadline is on 30th of that month, so most of the students, what they will be doing is, until the time of 25th they will be just leaving their assignment, and on 26th they will be actually start working towards that assignment and start putting all that stuff and try to make that assignment and submit it. And I highly recommend not to do that. Now there's a law known as Parkinson law. Always remember that work fills the time. How much time you give to that particular work, it will fill it automatically. Now let's say this is a productivity axis and this is your time period axis. So what it will be happening is your graph will be going down, and suddenly on 26th the graph will be going up, and you'll be submitting your assignment and it will be going down again. In the other case, what I'll be highly recommending is that instead of that leaving that particular time of 25 days period, give yourself a deadline. That personally just try to think that my deadline is only on 10th of that particular month. So what will be happening is, again on the productivity axis, what you'll be seeing is that on the 10th you'll be seeing a big peak. And the benefit of seeing this peak earlier as compared to 26 is that you can give yourself more time in order to prepare yourself, edit that particular assignment, and score as much marks as possible. And all this little little marks in the assignment matter quite a lot when you think about it overall stuff, when all of these things get calculated. Even the assignment which is 10%, 15%, I highly recommend to focus on them, because these are few of the little things which will be making a massive difference towards your overall results. So keep this thing in mind. Well, as I approach towards the end of the video, I really hope that you find some value out of this video, and I create all this content related to student life, making it more productive and easier. If you're interested in all such videos, this is a video which I'll be recommending to watch next. And thanks for watching. Subscribe the channel for regular updates. Thank you.